is for TB, who's not going to be here today. He wanted some music intro at the beginning. Oh, I don't mind this actually. Looks like we got some people in here already, so I'll cut this. Welcome to Levr Live, episode 35, World Cup Match Day 16. We're just going to cover the World Cup today. Cover what the action is. Let me get the Levr pulled up. 6 games today, 6 games tomorrow. That'll round out the group stage, and then 1 knockout game on Sunday that we'll cover that we already know who's playing in that. Like always, I'm Kaz. Obviously, we have Volume Bets, aka Kurt here. Let's get into the first game. I think a lot of people, well, there's 2 games played at the same time, but I think a lot of people are interested in our thoughts on this Norway-France game. France is probably going to announce, we should probably know who's in the lineup soon, if there's a way to look that up. Sounds like Norway's going to play their B team today.
We should start with the Senegal game, and I'll look up the...
All right, we'll start with the Senegal game. Not the preferred game by everyone, we know. Senegal, Iraq. Still, I believe, an important game for both teams. Well, mostly Senegal. But what are your feelings on the Senegal-Iraq game?
Senegal have to win this by 2 or 3 to have a chance to go into the next round. I think 3 will get them over the line, but 2 should put them in a decent spot. I think they're good enough, and I think they've done all right to create enough so far. But I don't know. They kind of worry me defensively. There's a lot of talk about what's been going on off the field over there. They're not getting paid. Right now, their conditions, they're kind of slumming it in a motel compared to everybody else, which has kind of caused problems and stuff like that. So I think they get it done, but I don't think I can bet on it because they've been pretty blah for the most part defensively.
Yeah, it definitely appears that Senegal is going to need probably at least 2, preferably 3 goals to have a chance to move on in that extra 8 teams that finish in 3rd place. I think the over-under for today's game is 3.5, and the goal line is -1.5 for Senegal. So, like you alluded to, sounds like the books are thinking that Iraq's going to get one on the board today, which would give them I believe, their 2nd goal of the tournament.
I have some Iraq under 1.5 for the tournament also, so really.
Yeah, so you really don't want to see that goal.
Yeah, I hope Senegal go up early and then this kind of like tight and they keep it tight. But yeah, Iraq have been okay going forward, or they were pretty decent going forward in the Norway game. I don't particularly trust that defense, but again, Senegal defensively, since the friendlies, we've been talking about how kind of crap they've been defensively. So I hope not, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Senegal's really gotta really come out hot. For any team to win a game 3-0, I mean, you have to really outplay your opponent really bad. I just don't know if Senegal's got enough in them to do that. The -1.5 goal line, doesn't scare me. They could win this 2-0. I just don't know if they can. I just don't know if the 3.5 goals for the game over under is achievable today. But like you said, if Senegal's defense, makes a mistake, Iraq could take advantage of it. But that's to be seen so far. With Iraq's only got 1 goal in the tournament. Any luck finding who the starting lineup is for France today?
Yeah, France are putting their regular stuff out. Mbappe, Dembele, Olise, Doué. Yeah, it's their regular team. Norway have rotated quite a bit, pretty much everybody. So
That's yeah. So France is going to try to win the group, keep momentum.
they only need a draw to do so as well.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're playing Mbappe and everybody else, I'm assuming France is going to try to score. The goal is probably to score one or two in the first half and then rotate some guys. You know, you have 5 subs, so probably rotate some guys coming out for the second half. Ideally,
Yeah, yeah, that's the hope.
yeah. Do
And
you think we
if
see?
France go up too, they like Norway probably don't bring it on. My thought here is if this game is tight in the second half, Norway will bring guys on, and if it's not tight, then nobody's doing anything, and Norway won't bring guys on, and France will probably bring guys off.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Because that's like, do you think we see Holland tonight, or is that just really based off from what the game looks like in the second half? Like Pulisic played last night for Team USA, and that was more because he didn't play the game before, so it just got him some reps and some like real game speed reps. Where Holland's played the whole tournament already, so do you really need to put him out there in that
Yeah,
second half?
you don't need to see what Holland's all about. We already know.
Yeah. This is interesting though, as far as um, the Golden Boot goes. This is pretty much eliminating Holland's chances. Probably not to say that he was going to score multiple today, but if Mbappe scores 1 or 2, that puts him so far ahead of Holland. There's no way he could catch him.
Yeah, probably. My thing is I kind of like Norway's path. Should they come in second here, they'll play the Ivory Coast, which is winnable, and then they'll play the winner Brazil Japan, which I think is winnable. Whether they win it or not is different, but I think it's all winnable. So there's a chance for Mbappe and maybe Messi later tomorrow. We'll see about that to kind of extend that gap for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if Messi's gonna like. I wouldn't personally play Messi tomorrow, but I don't know. He's having fun. It's his last World Cup, so maybe.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, it's his last. It's clearly probably going to be his last World Cup, and he's having fun. Yeah, and it's going to come down to like, are they tied currently right now for the Golden Boot?
I think Messi has 5 and Mbappe has 4.
4,
along with Vinicius and Holland. They also have 4.
4. I don't know. It keeps it interesting. If you're Argentina and you want like Messi to go down as like the GOAT, and I mean, it would be unbelievable for him to win the Golden Boot and for them to win the World Cup. At like, that would just really put a bow tie for the end of his career. I don't know. Maybe they do play him tomorrow. Maybe they just try to get him like a goal or two early in the first half.
Or yeah, just a little bit of run or something. But yeah, I'm interested if they put out tomorrow.
Well, we'll wait and see. We're going to talk about that game later. So who do you like? I mean, I think we're both on the same page. France is coming out of this game saying, hey, let's just try to get some goals on the board. Let's win the group, move on. That means they would play who in the next round?
France or Sweden.
Sweden.
Most likely.
A Sweden team that looked decent last night.
Yeah.
They look good.
Yeah. I think a lot of that was the product of Japan kind of chilling. Because when Japan scored right after that notification came in that Tunisia got one back on the Netherlands, and they stepped up a little bit and they score. I think if that game mattered and they had to win that one, that would have been a little bit different. But yeah, Sweden had an interesting tournament because some of these bigger teams, I think, can have a go at them defensively, but they have the talent up front to cause problems. So their game should at least be kind of fun.
Yeah.
That French game is going to have a total of like 3.5. It feels like.
I agree. I mean the total for this game is what was it? French minus 1.5, over under 3.5 for the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I can. It's another game. It's like, can I see 4 goals being scored in this game?
I have. They would have to come a majority from the French. Like, I think if that were to get to 4, you need at least 3 from the French. I'd be pretty surprised to see 2 from Norway. I would have been relatively surprised to see 2 from Norway with the full team out. France are really, really great defensively, and they just kill games off. They just slow games down, sit around. Like, they played Senegal in that game, and in the second half, they had 1 shot. Or Ivory, was it? Yeah, Senegal. Senegal had 1 shot in the second half of that game. Iraq had very, very little. They're just so good defensively for the most part. Yeah, Iraq had 4 shots for the game, none on target. Like, their last 135 minutes of football is they've conceded 5 shots. So I don't know. That feels like I'd rather play France team total stuff if you like the over instead.
No, I like the under. I just don't see how it can get above 3.5. But you watch, it'll bite me in the ass.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Moving forward after the 3 o'clock games, which would conclude. That is group. What group is that? That's group I. Always forget that they do these in different orders. Group H, I believe, is this Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and then at the same time Uruguay playing Spain. The way that the standings sit for this group, Spain is through, but they haven't won the group. Uruguay could win this game and win the group. Cape Verde can just probably take a tie and move on through a third place event. If not, try to win this game versus a Saudi Arabia team that's looked okay. But I mean, we'll go over Saudi Arabia, Cape Verde. What are your thoughts on that game?
I bet a little bit of Saudi Arabia plus half a goal the other day. That's moved out to a pick 'em. I just don't. Saudi Arabia need to win, and that's probably where I could get bit late. But I think there's, because Cape Verde have drawn 2 games, they probably didn't deserve to draw. That there's a bit of a push in their direction. But I thought Saudi Arabia played well versus Uruguay for the most part. I don't think they're less talented than Cape Verde or anything. I don't think they're worse or anything. So to get half a goal felt pretty good. So I have that on a pick 'em. Cape Verde only need a draw. It should be noted as well. So if this game's tied late, Cape Verde probably don't come out. Saudi Arabia do need the win though. So we'll see. Again, that's like the only spot I feel like I get bitten here, because I think Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde are on similar levels, and this should be a pretty low event game for the most part.
Which game would you rather watch? This game or Spain Uruguay?
The Spain game.
Oh, really? I don't know. I kind of think I'm more interested in this game. Like, in this game, if there's a winner, like that they're moving on.
Yeah. The Spain game would move 2 on if there's a draw.
Right.
As well.
But nobody wants to watch it freaking. If that turns into a 0-0 draw, nobody wants to see that.
I need Spain to win the group, so I want to see that. But also, on the off chance that Uruguay get eliminated in this group stage, I kind of want to be there for that too. I think that'd be funny.
Yeah. I should look this up. What's the goal differential for Uruguay?
0. They have 2 draws.
That's right. They have 2 draws.
3 points and a goal difference of 0 should get you into the next round. Though all these teams keep winning that have been taking spots away. Like Ecuador grabbing a win versus Germany is just straight up stolen a spot. South Korea losing that game may have just straight up knocked them out. But Uruguay and Cape Verde with 1 point each would both be in ahead of South Korea too. So I think they both get in with a draw. If there are 2 draws in this group, I think everybody gets in except Saudi Arabia. So
Yeah,
it should be enough.
Going through this, like Paraguay. Technically, did they put themselves back in last night because they got the 4 points?
Yeah. Yeah, let me see. Hold on. They do have 4 points, so they should be safe. But again, everybody keeps picking up 4 points.
Right.
Here we go. Yeah. So as of this moment, 3 points and 0 goal difference would put them ahead of South Korea and below Paraguay. Paraguay are currently 4th. Sweden, Ecuador, and Bosnia are through. There's no guarantee on Paraguay right now, but they would need a hell of a lot to go the wrong way. But a Cape Verde draw or a Uruguay draw, or both, I mean, would knock Scotland out. Scotland would be gone. And then it's up to Algeria, who are really, really tight and need a draw. We might get one of those weird little games with Austria and Algeria tomorrow, the same way Paraguay game went yesterday. Might get one of those tomorrow, but yeah, a draw and 0 goal difference should get you through. It'll put you ahead of 3 of the teams currently in the top 8 right now, with only a couple groups left.
Yeah, it seemed like that line moved from like if you were 3 with a good goal, if you were at 3 points with a good goal differential, you were probably going to make it through. And then, like you said, now it's like you'd be better off getting a 4 to have a real shot.
Yeah, pre-tournament you were 70% or 75% to get through with 3 points and a -2 goal difference. It looks like the line is going to be 3 points with a -2 goal difference, like right on that edge, or -1. So some teams have outperformed just a little bit, and that's all it really takes to kind of screw.
Yeah, and the Tartan Army unfortunately got to 3 points and a -3 goal difference. So they're probably going to be the first team looking on the way out.
They gave all those goals on their own. They deserve that.
Yes. Sorry, I'm in the bracket. So we talked to Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, Spain. Do you think we're going to get a full Spanish team, or do you think we're going to get everybody?
Yeah, they can't, like, if they lose this game, they could end up in a 3rd place slot. Genuinely, like if Uruguay win and Cape Verde win, which isn't like completely out of the question, particularly if Spain rotate it, they'll finish 3rd in the group and they'll get through. But I don't think they want to play, like, I don't think they want their route to be like Germany, France, Morocco, or Netherlands just to get to the semifinal. So I think they'll want to win this game, or at least win the group at that point. But
if they win,
I'd be really surprised to see them rotate.
If they win the group, who would be their matchup?
They'll get Austria most likely.
And if they lose, let's just say they theoretically come in second. Uruguay wins, Cape Verde doesn't get enough points. Let's just say they come in second.
Argentina would be
the matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta win the game. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to. You'd definitely rather play Austria than Argentina.
Yeah, and Argentina's looked pretty damn good so far this tournament. So,
not to mention that path that they end up with, particularly if Portugal win their next game. But if they win and Portugal win their next one in particular, their path to the semifinal is definitely the comfiest of the 4 semifinals. Like, they'll have to play Austria and then probably Colombia and then the United States on their way to the Final 4. Like, it's probably not going to get better than that.
Yeah, that's probably the best look going into it. Do you like? I mean, I think we're both on the same page. Probably like Spain here.
I think they're fully healthy. Yeah.
Uruguay get on the board tonight?
I don't know. This one I kind of want to play the under in because Uruguay don't need a win. So the longer this kind of floats out at 0-0 and they're just defending and kind of, Spain do have a little bit of trouble breaking down blocks just the way they play, and they're really conservative with the ball, so they do hold on to it a lot and don't stretch. This could be one of those ones that's like 0-0 after 60 minutes, and then there's really no push from anybody because a draw would get them both through. So I don't know if both of them get on the board here or anything like that. I kind of lean toward the under, if anything.
Like Uruguay loss would put
Keep
them out.
Yeah, out. But a draw would get them through, so they're walking a pretty tight line. But I don't think they're naive enough to think that they can come in here and just have a go at Spain without any consequences at the other end. So I think it'll be pretty tight.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking I might like the Cape Verde Saudi Arabia game. I feel like you're going to see those teams really like go after it, where this one might just be like let's just kick the ball around for 90 minutes and take our draw, shake hands, kiss babies, and move on.
Yeah,
that's why I was nervous about I might rather watch the other game.
Yeah, though that has a similar kind of route to it. Though Saudi Arabia will need the win, and we'll have to go for it late. But that could be one of those ones that's really, really tight. And unless Saudi Arabia go behind early, I'm not sure that one opens up early either.
2 late games. We got Egypt, Iran. Egypt winning this group, and then New Zealand, Belgium, the final matchup. I believe in the group here. Let me find it because they had this. Okay, Egypt's the only team in the group with a win. Iran's got 2 draws. Belgium's got 2 draws. New Zealand's got a draw, and they lost to Egypt. This New Zealand-Belgium game, I mean, is pretty much everybody's a lie. Egypt looks to be like they're through, but the other 3 teams are playing for their tournament life, really. Do you expect anything crazy to come out of this group?
This is a really funky one because you could argue all 4 of these teams need to win. Iran need a win probably, though a draw may get them through. Belgium, a draw will get them through, but I think they'd like to win. New Zealand need a win, and Egypt, depending on what Belgium do, may need a win. And coming in first place in this group is one of those ones that's important because your route deep into the tournament is just better over on this side. On the other side, you're probably just going to end up playing Portugal second round, most likely, or Portugal or Colombia. And on this side, you're going to play the United States. So there's a pretty significant prize for winning first place, and that's probably just a route deeper into the tournament. Whether they do it or not is different. But yeah, you might get some funky stuff here. I'm not a huge believer in Egypt. I think they're better than Iran, though. When Iran need to win this, but we've talked about fading Iran all tournament, and just their travel situation just makes it super funky for them. And they've come out in the first 30 minutes of both games so far super lethargic and stuff, and they've complained about it and whatnot. So if Egypt can take advantage early, I think they can beat Iran. And if they don't, then I don't hate a look at Belgium winning the group. I think they score today. Again, New Zealand have to come out, and New Zealand aren't great defensively already, but New Zealand have to come out and win the game. So I think Belgium might be able to put up a crooked number. So I didn't hate a look at Belgium to win the group at like 2-1 or 2.5-1 or whatever is floating around. It's just sometimes trusting this current Belgian team is kind of funky. But for Belgium to win the group, they'd need to win by 3, and Iran would need to get a point, which I don't think is out of the question.
Yeah, and looking at this could also be a handshake, Egypt-Iran. take your draw. Most likely, you both move on. Because goal differential for Iran will be 0, and they'll have the 3 points. Egypt will have 5 points, be clear. And then I guess it kind of goes back to what Belgium, you probably have an eye on the Belgium game. If New Zealand comes out and scores first, do you think that they get they're aware that New Zealand's up on Belgium? You think these other two teams kind of relax and be like, okay, there's no reason to press.
Maybe if they did it later in the game. I think at 0-0, they're probably both aware. I think if Belgium, here's my thing. I think if Belgium go ahead at any stage, then Egypt don't want the draw. Egypt want to win if Belgium go ahead, which I think is pretty likely that Belgium win this game. So I think they get ahead, and then Egypt kind of push Iran a little bit. Because, again, finishing first and second, there's a pretty significant difference in this particular group. So I think they'll have a bit of a push.
I don't hate any of that. That sounds. I think that's what's going to happen. I think they'll be TV watching also at the same time to see what's going on. Moving on to Saturday, we have Ghana, Croatia at 5 p.m. and then England, Panama. We'll go England, Panama because I know that you're rooting for the English in this tournament. You think is England going to play everybody tomorrow, or is that going to be a B team?
Yeah, it should be the first team because I think they'll need a win to win the group. For the well, I don't know if they'll need it in the end. Whether Ghana beat Croatia is different, but they can be caught by a winner in Croatia or Ghana if they don't win that game. So I think you're going to get the full team tomorrow. And I think they beat Panama pretty easy. Panama are interesting because they are athletic enough to keep up with a lot of these teams, but England are athletic and technically gifted, which Croatia and Ghana aren't. So I think they kind of get away. I think England win that one relatively comfortably. It's a different type of game because Panama are out, and you may see some rotation from them, and I think they'll play a little bit more free, which kind of leaves a little bit more space for England, unlike Ghana, who sat 11 behind the ball the entire time. So I think it's a little bit easier for England tomorrow in that one.
It's interesting to me because Panama hasn't scored, but they have done a pretty good job of keeping the opposing team off the board. It's just one of those ones, like you said, depending on which way they go and who they play, could determine how this gets played out. But they've only conceded 1 goal, I think, in each game.
Yes.
So, but England's expected goals is over 2 in each game, which I think is the highest in the group by a good clip. And Panama's expected to give up almost 1.5 goals a game. So, I mean, on this, and England hasn't really. Their concedes are supposed to be less than 1. I mean, this could be an easy 1-0, 2-0 game.
Yeah, I think England get there, and I think after Panama go behind, if Panama go behind, I think they'd be pretty uninterested in the result and just kind of more interested in maybe scoring. Again, they're out, and they may just be more interested in scoring a goal, or their plans might change if England go ahead in that one. So it may get a little bit open.
I think we're agreeing on the same path. Ghana, Croatia, obviously, probably. I mean, looking at what's left on the board, obviously Spain, Uruguay, Norway, France. I guess Senegal, Iraq will be interesting, but I mean, Ghana, Croatia should be a pretty big time game to get the day started tomorrow. Which way are you leaning in that one?
I don't know how I feel here because I think Ghana might do a little bit of rotating. They're through already, but I've been pretty uninspired by Croatia. I thought Panama played them kind of even for large portions of that game, and I thought England offensively kind of ripped them apart. So I don't want to bet on Ghana because I think they'll rotate, and I'm not sure how good they are going forward. And I don't want to. I don't really want any part of Croatia who have kind of just really, really haven't impressed me in the slightest.
I agree. Croatia hasn't impressed me really at all in this tournament, but they're like a cockroach. They seem like they're like impossible to get rid of. Like they will just stick around forever. They seem to always be able to like make something out of nothing. Like every year in the World Cup, you're always like, oh, it's Croatia. It's like the last team you want to play because you know it's going to be. They're just going to be a pain in the ass to get rid of. This is a tough game. Like you said, Ghana's through. But a win for Ghana could get them, opens up the possibility to win the group.
Yeah.
And depending on how many goals they score, goal differential, that could I mean, they're down 1 in goal differential. So if they can win 2-0 and England only wins 1-0, then they're tied, and then it goes to goals 4, which I think England would actually win. I don't know. This is a tough one. I think you're going to really see these two teams have a go at it tomorrow. Because Ghana, if you win the group, who do you play?
If you win the group, you're probably right now. I think there's a pretty big chance it's Congo. I think, depending on what they do tomorrow. So,
and then
you get Mexico, Ecuador winner in the Azteca, which will be really difficult.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is play a Mexican team that hasn't lost in Mexico since like 2018 at home. At home, is that one of the stadiums that's like a billion miles in the air?
Yeah, it's up in the air. Though Ecuador are also used to that environment, so it'll be difficult no matter which one of those two you play in that spot. But it's like 3,500 feet up there or something.
Yeah, that just sounds like a nightmare to deal with. Not to say that I don't think the Congo would be an easy pushover, but I think I'd rather play the Congo.
Yeah, for sure. In that first round, if you finish second in the group, you're gonna get the loser of the Colombia-Portugal game, which will be difficult. But here's my worry about Croatia opening this game up is that they need a point. If they lose this by 1, they're probably out with the goal difference stuff floating around. They'll be on 3 points with a -2 goal difference if they lose this by 1. So they'll be right on that line. They'll know what they need during the game because this is one of the last sets.
Right.
But I don't know. That feels like another one that could be kind of tight to me.
After these games are played, it's a weird. They play the next set at 7:30, which is strange, but I think that's like the only time all tournament they've done like a half-hour start time. Portugal, Colombia, and then Congo, DR, or the DR of Congo versus Uzbekistan. We'll start with Portugal, Colombia. It's, I mean, winner take all. So, I mean, I feel like we're going to get a real game here.
Yeah. Portugal need to win that one. And I think they do win it, personally. I think they're good enough in the back 7 or the back 8, if you include the goalkeeper, to keep Colombia from just like running all over them. And I'm just not a huge believer in this Colombia defense yet. And I think Portugal are going to control the ball for a majority of the game. And if they're continuously poking and prodding at this Colombia defense, I think they kind of find their way through a couple times. So I like Portugal in the game, and that'll mean they win the group. But yeah, I kind of lean that way. I haven't bet it just yet. I'm hoping that there's some Colombia money come in so I can get kind of close to even. But I think Portugal win that one outright.
This one, I think Portugal's the better team, and like you said, I think it's going to come down to, can Colombia keep Portugal from scoring? If they can keep Portugal from scoring, or if they can steal a goal and get one. I think if Colombia can get one goal, that's a really good spot for them to possibly tie to win the group and move on. If they don't score, I think the longer they don't score, I think the more pressure goes on Colombia, and the more momentum is in Portugal's favor, knowing that once we score, we're probably going to win the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, and Colombia only need a draw, so if they score, they'll feel much better about that. But I don't know. I'm going to have to pay to see it, but I'm just not a big believer in the Colombian defense.
I believe Munoz is the leading scorer on the Colombian team right now.
I was staring at him to lead the team in goals to be their leading scorer. I was just fucking staring at it, and he's he's scoring for Palace all the time, and I'm just like, But
I think we talked about that. I see that he is their current leader. So
yeah,
with one to go, we'll move on. I guess like Congo, Uzbekistan. Congo, a win versus Uzbekistan. They're through.
Yeah, Congo. Yeah,
and I feel like I'm watching these teams play. I think Congo is a superior team to Uzbekistan. Congo's been a pain in the ass to the other two teams that they played in the group, in Portugal and Colombia. Or Uzbekistan kind of got run over. Is Congo the same level as those two? No, but I think they're good enough to get one or two on the board and be safe to move on. You think there's any road here where they fumble this?
I don't think there's too many spots where they lose this game outright. They're really good defensively, and again, they only need a point. I think Uzbekistan are like the worst team in the one of the worst teams in the tournament. Like, they're really, really bad. They don't defend well, and that was supposed to be their hallmark, like coming into the tournament. Like, maybe they can grab like a draw or two, or just like sneak a 1-0, but they've been really, really terrible at the back. And if they're not defending well, I don't know where anything's coming from. So I think if Congo score once, I would be pretty stunned to see them not at least get a point and get themselves through.
Right. I agree. I don't like the over-under in that game's 2.5. I kind of like the under, more like seeing Congo score twice, or if they score once, they're not going to give up more than one to Uzbekistan, and they might not even try to score. I don't know. 2.5 seems like it's a good spot on the end, just because of the way that the Congo, what they need to move on. It's not like they need a ton of goals, so they just need like a goal, and they're good. The final games of group will be Austria, Algeria, and Jordan, Argentina. We kind of talked about Argentina. Are they going to play everybody in that game against Jordan? Are they going to let Messi? Maybe they wait and see what happens today as far as what happens in this France-Norway game, as far as what they do with Messi. If they want him to win the Golden Boot, he scored every goal for them so far in the tournament. So,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he scored all their goals. So it's crazy that, how old's Messi now?
39.
39, yeah. So a guy that's almost 40 years old has scored every goal for your team in the World Cup. Granted, he's one of the greatest players of all time, but I mean, not one other guy on your team can show up to score a goal. It's not like they're in like this impossible group.
No, and they should be more talented to find, but it has been messy magic so
Yeah.
far.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, there's no Austria, unless Austria won big tomorrow, there's no way they could catch.
They can't catch Argentina because of the head-to-head.
Head-to-head. Yeah, that's right. They lost the head-to-head, so it doesn't even matter. So, I mean, Argentina's through. They're in first. It really only comes down to if you want Messi to win the Golden Boot, and even then, you might even be able to just say, "Hey, we don't need to risk anything. You're going to score enough goals in the rest of the tournament anyway."
Yeah. So yeah, it all depends on what they care about. I think the second team is good enough to win the game for what it's worth, but we'll see what they do. Again, it doesn't really matter, barring injury. So
right, and then Algeria, Austria. Interesting matchup. Both teams at 3 points. Algeria's goal differential is worrisome for them, especially if they lose this game. They're probably done because they're at -2 goal differential, and like you said, that's probably the line. So if they move into that -3 spot, they're probably on the outside looking in. So Algeria really needs a draw here to have a chance to move on. Austria, if they were to lose 1-0, still might move on with 3 points and a -1 goal differential. How do you think these two teams play this game out? Do they just play super tight and they both get the 4, or
that's what the odds say, right? This like
I
plus
think
120 on a draw is wild.
Yes.
But I played some Austria draw no bet. I think they've been okay defensively, but I think they've been better than Algeria defensively. And I don't, despite the fact that I don't think this game will get out of hand, I don't think Austria are going to come in and not play because they might have leeway here. And this will be the last game, so we'll know exactly what they'll need to exist. Algeria are like 90% confident that they're going to need to not lose the game, but Austria could probably afford one, depending on what happens the rest of the tournament. So I think Austria are going to come out and play their game, which means high press, balls into the box with their height and stuff. So what I've seen from Algeria defensively has been not good. So I played a little bit of Austria draw no bet. I played it pre-tournament. I feel good about it now. I have a little bit of CLV despite this weird situation they're in. And yeah, we'll see what goes from there. But I think if anybody wins the game, it's Austria.
Yeah, I agree. I do feel like they're a little bit better than Algeria and have looked a lot better in the tournament so far. But Algeria's going. Algeria's got to try. They have to score goals. That's their big thing. They have to score goals. So you're going to see them go forward for sure. Outside of that, the last game we were going to cover today, which is working out good because the games are going to start here soon, was we already know the first knockout game is South Africa versus Canada. I think that game is taking place in Vancouver, British Columbia, if I remember correctly. Do we like Canada? South Africa kind of backdoored their way in off from a silly move by the South Korea not playing their best player, thinking that they could just walk through. Canada showed some fight after they went down to Switzerland. This Canada team, every once in a while, watching them, they're so up and down. It's like they look like they could be a good team, and then they look like they don't belong. Thoughts on who moves on in this game?
Yeah, I just wanted one note on South Korea. They played both those last two games to not lose when they're fully capable of winning both those games, and it bit them twice. I just don't understand why they did it that way. Like, I know you only need 1 point from 2 games, but actively not trying to score goals is crazy when you're that talented. But as for this game, I like Canada. I played a little bit of Canada to lose in the round of 16 at plus 149. I don't think that number's there. I think that's close to the minus 120 now. But so if they win this game, they'll play the winner of the Netherlands Morocco game, which I think would beat them. But South Africa really have trouble when you go get them, which is what surprised me about the South Korea game. But Mexico went at them, and if you score goals on South Africa, which are there for the taking, they don't really have the technical ability to kind of get you at the other end. So I think Canada kind of overload them and score a goal or two here and kind of get over the line. And when Canada needs to defend, they're okay at it. So I think they'll be the aggressors here. South Africa will have to play on the break, and I've seen enough of South Africa playing on the break to know that they get into decent spaces, but they also kind of struggle to string good passes together. So I like Canada to get through, or Canada to lose in the next round like I played it, because I don't believe this Canada team's super great. And again, we talked about their style before the tournament. It's open, it's aggressive, because you have to be when you're not like the better team most of the time. But in this game, they'll be the better team, should overload South Africa. And I think they miss Kone enough for me, because I think he's their best player personally. But when him being out probably gets them against a better team in the next round.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if South Africa pulled out a shocker again. Just because I feel like Canada goes through these lulls where they don't do anything for 20 minutes at a time, and sometimes it's just about a bad bounce, a lucky strike, a defensive error cost you a game. Or if South Africa decides to pack it in and tries to win it in extra time or PKs. If I'm leaning one way, it's definitely Canada, but I wouldn't be shocked if South Africa tries to turn this into, we're going to pack it in and we're going to try to maybe score a goal on transition and win a game that way. Does that make sense? Like to try to be like, we're going to play until you either score or we get lucky and we go up by one, and we're still going to pack it in.
Yeah, I don't know. They haven't done it all tournament, which kind of makes me think that they won't. True. And I think Canada will leave them space to draw them out a little bit, and I don't think they'll be uncomfortable playing on the break against Canada. But I don't know if they are like a pack it in and type. And I think they kind of just continue to play. They're already playing with house money, I think they feel like. So
oh, I actually forgot that this game is actually being played at SoFi in LA.
Yeah, after they lost the group. So
after they lost, yeah. Switzerland's going to be playing in Canada. That's correct. So that'll be interesting. Well, I mean, that concludes. We don't know all the matchups on Monday, but we'll be back for Monday. I think we discussed noon on Monday because the games start at 1. So that'll probably be the next time we are on. So, yeah, that should be pretty fun. We'll know, like, who's in the knockout stages. I got to see if I can find if we missed anything. South Korea might have been, if they don't move on, that might be like one of the only teams we picked to move on that doesn't make it through.
They need everybody fired if they don't get through. Like, they need to just clean house if they don't get through.
Yeah, I think like when we did that, I'll go back through the show where we picked everybody, and I'll see how we did as far as picking the winners of each group and then who moves on. Because I know we went specifically over like the 8 final 3 teams to make it in, our third place teams to make it in. So that'll be interesting. I'll go back through that video and see. Like, I'm confident we didn't have Qatar in. I'm actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure we didn't have South Africa in.
No, yeah, definitely not.
So Czechia is one we got wrong. We didn't have Qatar. We didn't have Haiti. I think Curacao, we definitely didn't. Tunisia, we definitely didn't. New Zealand, I don't think we had in. Cape Verde, I believe we had on the outside looking in, which is still a possibility. I think we had Iraq as the last place team, Jordan as the last place team, Uzbekistan as the last place team, and Panama. So for the most part, we pretty much nailed this, other than Czechia and South Korea really really blowing it. So
yeah.
So not too bad. Did pretty good, trying to guess what 32 teams we're going to move on. But yeah, with a little less than 10 minutes to go before the games, we'll let everybody go. Get yourself comfortable. Get the games on. I'm sure most people will be watching this France-Norway game. Should be interesting. See you all Monday.